The Ministry of Education has revealed it is introducing a policy to associate all lower-performing senior high schools to grade A schools. Sector Minister Dr. Yao Edichum says the initiative is to imbibe the principles of the grade A schools into the grade A schools to improve their academic performance. After a consultative meeting in Kumasi with the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, Dr. Edichum indicated the move is to transform Ghana's secondary education system. There's more in this report.
Officials of the Ministry of Education and the Free Senior High School Secretariat have been meeting with the heads of some Category A senior high schools across the country. The stakeholder consultative meeting was to assess the performance of students and also deliberate on ways to address some challenges denting the Free Senior High School program. But in tackling the faltering performance of some senior high schools, the Ministry of Education is introducing an affiliation policy. The initiative would ensure the grade A senior high schools indoctrinate the underperforming schools in their principles for an improved academic performance. The Education Minister, Dr. Yao Edichum, explained.
In this room today were the top schools in the country. Invariably, when we are opening a new school, we don't look at how we can partner the new school with the existing high-performing school. So you may have T.I. Ahmadiyya School in Mampong, other towns across the country. But the T.I. Ahmadiyya School of Distinction is the Kumasi one. If you can pair them up and link them up, they will learn from the best practice of the Kumasi T.I. Ahmadiyya. And in no time, they will become like Kumasi T.I. Ahmadiyya. We've not been doing that proactively. Now we're going to do it. So a new school coming up should be affiliated with an existing high-performing school, so that they can learn the best practices of the high-performing existing school, so that they will become like them. So become mentors, they become the role models for the new school, and then we'll be able to create more high-performing schools.
Meanwhile, the Director General of TVET, Mausi Nudiko Ariti, revealed the program has recorded its highest enrollment and will soon establish 3 TVET incubators to nurture its graduates.
This is the first time we've had the highest enrollment, 44,000. Just within 1 year, I mean, the introduction of TVET service, shooting from about 30,000 to 44,000+. That is tangible. That is what we have seen. And then there is a lot more expansion. A lot more people are rolling in. We are going to put up 3 TVET incubators, TVET incubation centers in the country. The whole sub-region, we don't have it. But this minister has been able to, and together with TVET service, we've been able to get the funding. And we are going to put up 3 TVET incubation centers, the lower belt, middle belt, and the upper belt, and then 10 specialized schools. The money has been gotten. The MOU has already been signed, and the sites are being looked at, and construction would start very soon.
For Joy News, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reporting.
Now, about a professor of educational leadership at the University of Cape Coast, Professor George Kweku Toko-Odro, has described the minister's proposal as a lazy planner's approach to resolving issues in the educational sector. In an exclusive interview with Joy News' Richard Kojo Nyako, Professor George Kweku-Odro says associating grade C schools to grade A schools won't solve the issues of quality, but rather paying attention to the basics, providing more support to the grade C schools will do the trick.
Professor George Kweku Toko-Odro indicated the Education Minister's initiative to resolving quality in the grade C schools is surprising. He believes the fundamental issues that ought to be tackled to address the issues of quality at the grade C schools have been ignored and should be the minister's focus.
We know that the key issue is not that teachers in grade C schools don't qualify. It isn't that teachers in grade schools do not know what they have to do. There are practical issues relating to labs in grade C schools which are not well equipped, issues relating to grants for teachers, issues relating to teaching logistics, and so many things that actually hinge on quality. You see, so how can schools, grade C schools affiliated to grade A schools be a model for addressing issues of grade C schools? I do not think that this is something that we should embrace. and it gives an indication of a lazy planners model for addressing issues. You see, it is not for nothing's sake that the framers of the Constitution called for a progressively free senior high school, because rural schools, grade C schools, also need quality, and this quality requires planning. If in the past 6 years, if government had planned very well, heeded the call on the ministry not to haste in implementing the across-board free SHS, and targeted grade C schools by addressing issues of equipment, lab equipment, issues of library, issues of classroom furniture, and all those. By now, at least about 10 schools, we can point about 10 schools would have been leveraged to the point of grade A school.
The former Pro VC of UCC further suggested that the neglect of the basic schools, whose products the senior high schools rely on, is accounting for the low performances at the grade C schools. He warned the basic schools, the foundation of Ghana's education system, to be tackled, and all other things would fall in line.
Concentration hasn't been given to basic school as it should. Policies have come out, all right. We have seen the curriculum reforms that have come out, very nice reforms. But then in the school situation, practically teachers do not have the textbooks to teach till date. So if in the private schools, in the primary schools, there is weakness, then obviously those who will go to grade C schools are people with very low grades. Affiliation works when there is an equal base of performance. If you have labs equipped just as Wesley Girls, and yet teachers are not able to deliver, then you are talking about soft skills, which easily affiliation can promote. But are we suggesting that Wesley Girls is to help this school, Konyaku Secondary Technical, for instance, to help to beef up its laboratory by affiliation? No, that is not the issue. Let me also say this. You see, if you have, let's say, two companies, military companies, defending a nation, we have company A, we have company B, and you equip company A with arms. Company B is not equipped, and you tell company B that we're affiliating you to company A for the purpose of defense. What will happen? It will be a failure, because the stronghold of company B cannot stand.
For Professor Oduro, the quality issues in Ghana's education system requires careful planning and not a knee-jerk reaction. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenya on Cape Coast.